Now, just like everybody else out there, when the Googans get it wrong, they wind up calling in the pros to get a little help. Just hope you don't call in the Googan pros like this guy. Welcome back, crew, to this week's episode of Googans of the Week. For some reason, I feel like I'm watching the pontoon version of Pac-Man in this one.
Does he not see that? This isn't for real. For real right now?
Now, if that was the pontoon version of Pac-Man, I'm guessing this is the ferry version of Pac-Man as it runs around eating the little dots in the marina.
Ma perché sei ubriaco? Come cazzo è successo? No, vabbè. E poi guarda questo quanto ha spulato.
You always have to be cautious when you're out there on the water. Kind of like this situation here, you never know when something's just gonna come after you. All of a sudden you're out on the river enjoying the day, and the next thing you know, the barge says it's gonna take a bite out of you. Now in this situation, it just broke free and wound up going after the bigger ship, but sometimes when you're driving, you just gotta let her rip and let her break free off into the woods. Now, of course, sometimes accidents just happen out on the water. Things go wrong. But then there's the Googans. When you see the Googans out on the water, it's not typically that things went wrong. They put themselves in a situation they never should have been in.
Right there. Yeah. He's got potential. Got washed off the rocks and straight back in it. Oh my god. I don't know what he's on, but...
Well, when they were giving out the brains, he was on the sword list.
Now, the really bad part when the Googans put themselves in places they shouldn't be is that typically they don't just put their own lives in danger, they wind up putting others in danger as well, as we see in this situation where our guy who's fishing out there at the end of the jetty winds up having to have the Coast Guard come out and rescue him off the jetty. Now, often we'll see the Googans out there doing silly things, and sometimes you think, well, just why are they doing that? Kind of like this situation. Here, our guy's towing another boat. The trick part of this is you can see that the trailer, well, it's still attached to the boat as he's towing. But what happens many times is that people will be in very remote locations, and he's probably towing this boat somewhere that doesn't have any roads, and they still want to be able to pull the boat out of the lake. So what they'll do is leave a UTV or something there at that location where they can just use it just to pull the boat right out of the water on the trailer and then launch the boat right back from that remote location. And speaking of remote locations, this is pretty remote, not necessarily in the location where the boat is, but where the crew that was on the boat is. For example, we see the boat here, now pinned beneath the bridge, but there were two people on this boat, and there they go, floating down the river. Now, fortunately in this situation, they are able to swim toward docks and get picked up. The boat, not so lucky though, it winds up floating off on its own.
Yep, they got her.
Now, of course, storms can bring heavy winds and lots of vessels will break away, but sometimes the Googans will get out there, get behind the wind on their own, and make their own mistakes like we'll see here. And then of course this isn't all that uncommon either, seeing the Googans in places, well, where they just don't belong.
Wrong way, man. Everyone get out of the way of this guy. Trim it down, dude. There you go. Oh, there we go.
Come on, please just get out. You can do it. You can do it.
Oh, he's turning way too far.
Now I'm not 100% sure on this one, let me know in the comments, was this Googan or was this genius? My man right here was prepping for a hurricane and just went ahead and tied her up right around the railings of everywhere. Speaking of being tied up and protected by the railings, I'm betting this guy wish he would have done that as well instead of being out here having to be rescued. Now our guy a few clips back had that thing pretty secure with all the lines around the rails, but our guy here found another way to do it without the rails just by going ahead and pinning the boat in between both banks of the river. Thanks for watching, crew. Hope you enjoyed this episode of Googans of the Week. If you ever see anything crazy happening out on your waterways, be sure to hit us up at Broncos Guru on Facebook or Instagram and let us know, and you might see your stories over here. Just like Amy Joe 18, Baleen Miller, B-Med, Brad Birdie, Brandon 5, Caleb Bellin 1, Captain Will Osborne, Captain Jay Sen, and Adam Coolidge did this week. And if you guys haven't already, go ahead and drop an anchor on the subscribe button here.